Rusame reader, Crowsong, and today I will be reading to you from Stars and Moonflowers in Our Garden by Rainbow Star _ 772. That's me! Now, on to Chapter 28, Friends and Good Guesses. America walked over to Russia and gave him a hug, knowing that his shift was over and that they should both head their separate ways. "I'll see you tomorrow, Russia," America said, with a small smile coming onto his face. "I'll see you then," Russia said happily, returning the hug quickly. Slowly, America moved away from the hug, subtly letting the other know he was ready to head out, and that it was also time for him to head to dinner. Once Russia let go, he gave him a warm smile before opening the door of the office and heading out. He waited for a second, watching as Russia headed the other way. He sighed a little as the note from before came back to him. He was not looking forward to the teasing his friends were going to give him today. Honestly, it was over something so small. He really didn't see why he should be teased over it. It was neither here nor there. He just needed to get back to his room and collect himself something to eat. He stopped by the kitchen and grabbed himself some of the leftovers from the day before, warming them up with fire magic before heading over to his room. Outside the door, he saw Mexico, Japan, Italy, Canada, South Korea, North Korea, Brazil, and China, seemingly awaiting his arrival. He got closer and reached for the handle of the door. He unlocked it, then opened the door, letting his friends in before he entered himself. Once they all situated themselves, finding their preferred places in his room to sit, he went and took a seat at his desk. "Why aren't you sitting on your bed?" China asked. America paused for a second, confused by the question his friend had asked. "What?" America questioned, deciding to verbalize his confusion. "You usually sit on your bed. Why are you sitting at your desk?" China clarified before repeating the question. I guess I've just been sitting here a lot as of late." "I didn't realize it was odd," America said, putting his food on the desk and rubbing the back of his neck nervously. "Why?" Japan's excited voice cut in before a different conversation could start. "Oh, I've made a friend of sorts," America started, smiling a little when he thought about the letters he and Neeks had been exchanging. "He goes by Neeks, and we've been talking through letters for a bit. He's decided he wants to figure out what race I am before we meet in person." Japan visibly deflated. She'd definitely been hoping that this had something to do with his crush. And he knew it, finding himself glad that she didn't have an easy segue into teasing him. "Wait, it's not obvious you're a cat shifter." China pitched in, again with a question. "Maybe it's obvious to you guys, but I do a pretty good job at keeping that away from people," America said, a proud smile finding its way onto his face. "I have a reputation for being kind of scary, and that wouldn't really stay if people knew I was just cat. You know? They'd find me cute, and I need to hold the ability to be scary for them to follow proper treatment plans." "Honestly, I think the fact that you're a cat shifter makes you more scary," Italy mumbles, shivering a little at the thought that ran through his head. "Cats only stick to birds and stuff because they are restrained by size. You could and would eat us all if you had the instincts of a cat." "Your sister is literally one of the examples of why people don't find us scary," America grumbles. "But I digress. Plus, the mystery of them not knowing makes me a bit more scary. They don't know my capabilities, so they listen to me." Luckily, this topic seemed to distract his friends enough from the idea of teasing the absolute hell out of him. Luckily for him, they ran out of time before they could start teasing him, and if they got too close to the topic, something else always seemed to distract them. So he bid them good night as they left. Once they were out of his room, he closed the door and collected an outfit that would better fit his nightly gardening. He hummed happily to himself as he walked out of his room, being sure to close and lock it behind himself before he began to do things as he usually did. But as he was nearing the camomiles, where he found Neek's letters, he heard someone. He quickly put his guard up and swung around, furiously checking for what made the noise. He spotted a fast-approaching Argentina and quickly started to get away as fast as he could. He saw a tree not too far from him. He quickly ran towards it and swiftly began climbing the tree, throwing himself up the branches as quickly as he could in his human form. He was glad the crazy following him didn't know how to climb. It took a bit before she gave up and left. He let out a sigh of relief when she was gone and hopped down, landing gracefully on the ground. He then made his way back to the flowers, continuing as he usually did. When he saw a letter in the camomiles, he smiled and felt excitement wash over him. He quickly grabbed the letter and gently opened it, excited to read it. Dear Aku, I'll be fine. As I said, I'm feeling a bit brave. As for Argentina, I'll burn that bridge when I get to it. I just want to keep her away from you. I'm trying to figure out how I can help with her. I swear it won't be anything that has to do with injuring her. Also, my sister saw someone she was into and apparently ran into her room and screamed for about an hour. At least that's what Dad said. As for me, I just kind of scream into a pillow if thoughts get too flustering. I usually can keep them from doing that when I'm anywhere but my room. I won't duck. I swear I never will. And I've never considered doing it. My resolve to not use that is stronger now, as I know the risks. I feel like it might change your perspective on me, so I'm anxious and excited for when I get it right. Also, I feel Natalie would almost definitely love you. You'll probably get cuddled by him. He's very affectionate. As for my new guesses, are you a shifter or drow? I'm running out of guesses. Sorry. Sincerely, Neeks. America smiled as he started to read, finding himself chuckling as he read the Malafor. Then he felt relief when he read that none of Neeks' plans would result in someone being hurt. After that, he found himself devolving into giggles as he read about how Neeks' sister was. God, after reading a bit on how excited and anxious Neeks was to meet him, he wanted to hug him and reassure him he'd never judge him for something he couldn't control. But that would have to wait until they met in person properly. Then he smiled as he read a bit more on Neeks' cat. He smiled excitedly when he read the first guess, Shifter! Neeks had gotten it right, but the game was to continue as per Neeks' terms. And that's the end of this chapter. I hope you enjoyed. Anyway, I'd like to invite you to join the Discord, which is linked down in the description below. That being said, I hope you have a nice rest of your day, night, or whatever it is for you. Just enjoy your time, and I will see you tomorrow!